Hey everyone, it's Taya and welcome to the L'Oreal Paris channel. If you have hooded eyes like me, I'm here to help. I'm going to show you exactly how to really enhance and make them pop. So with hooded eyes, you have some extra skin that covers your eyelids. So it does make it a little tricky for certain eyeshadow looks. So I like to start by applying a base for my eyeshadow. And I like to use a concealer that's close to my skin tone. Then you're going to take a sponge. You can also use a brush or your fingers. And I just like to blend this all over my eyelids. This is going to create an even base for your eyeshadow. I think this is very important if you have hooded eyes, because with hooded eyes, especially mine, I notice a lot of shadow. It kind of creates the look of discoloration. So that's why I like to go in with a concealer to prime my lids, just to make everything look the same color. So what you want to do next to prevent creasing and to set your concealer in place is to go in with a powder on top. So the one I'm using is the L'Oreal Infallible Up to 24 Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. I'm going to be using the shade 350. This has a soft matte finish and it's waterproof, so it's going to be perfect for keeping your concealer and your eyeshadow in place. With hooded eyes, you want to make sure your makeup is set into place and is going to stay there all day, just because there's a lot of friction and rubbing with your skin. So we want to make sure we're using waterproof and smudge proof products. You're going to pick up the product on a fluffy brush, tap off the excess, and you want to lightly tap the product all over your eyelids. I'm using shade 305 because it's closest to the concealer that I use. You don't want to use anything too dark or too light. So next I'm going in with a little bit of a darker shade, 450, and I'm going to be using this as my transition shade. For hooded eyes, one of my main tips is to apply your eyeshadow with your eyes open. That way you can see exactly where it's going to go. If I was to apply my eyeshadow in what would be my crease, which is like right around here, it would be hidden underneath this skin right here. So I'm going to apply this shade right above my natural crease and just blend it all over my eyelid. You can also wing the shadow out a little bit by just pulling it towards your temples. This is optional, but I do like to focus on elongating my eyes since there's not really many options that I can do with hooded eyes. I do like to focus on bringing my shadow outwards just to add some more definition into my eyes. Another hack that I have is to use bronzer for eyeshadow. I love to do this. It's very easy to blend. It's also forgiving, so if you mess up, it's really easy to fix. For my next step, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer in the shade 550. Clean this up with a smaller, more detailed eyeshadow brush. I'm holding my mirror up so that I'm looking straight ahead. Wherever you see the crease, you want to apply the shadow right above it. So I'm not going to take it in too far towards the beginning of my eye. I'm just going to keep everything out here and work on elongating my eyes and giving them more definition. If you need to clean anything up, you can go in with your lighter shade and just blend out the edges of the darker shade. Going back in with the Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer in the shade 450 and apply it to my lower lash line. And you just want to lightly smudge this underneath your lash line. It doesn't have to be perfect because, like I said, the bronzer is super easy to work with and very blendable. Make my eyes pop a little more, I'm going to use L'Oreal Paris Paradise Lay Shadow Stick in the shade 120 Magnetic Mauve. I love these eyeshadow sticks. They're creamy, they glide on super easy. Let me just show you guys how easy it is to apply this. All you have to do is glide it on to your eyelid, and it's really easy to work with. You can also build it up to your desired look. You're only going to apply this color from the front of your eyelids to the center because it's kind of hard to see on the outer corners, so you don't want to apply anything there. You can just stick to the front of your eyelids. I always like to go a little bit higher just so you can see the product when I open my eyes. This is also going to make your eyelids look a little bit bigger, so I love applying it above my crease as well. What I like to do is take my fingers and just blend out the edges. You can see how it makes my eyes pop a little bit more and look more dimensional. So one of my favorite steps in my eyeshadow is highlighting my inner corner and my brow bone. So I'm going to go in again with the L'Oreal Paris Paradise Lay Shadow Stick in the shade Alluring Rose. So what I'm going to do is take this shadow and apply it to the inner corner of my eyes. You can already see that it brightens up my eyes so much. I do this step faithfully every time I do my makeup, so it's one of my favorites. And you can just blend that out with your fingers. Moving on to eyeliner. Eyeliner can be a little difficult for hooded eyes. You don't want to make it too thick because it'll make your eyes look smaller. So one of my favorite ways to define my eyes without making them look too heavy is to tight line. I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Grip up to 36-hour gel mechanical liner in the shade Intense Black, and I'm gonna go ahead and tight line my eyes. To tight line, all you have to do is lift your eyelids up a little bit and create a line underneath your lash line. And this enhances and defines your eyes without taking away from them or making them look too dark and heavy. Since we don't have a lot of room on our actual lids, this is a great way to apply eyeliner because it's very subtle, but it really does help define your eyes. I love that this eyeliner stays put. If I close my eyes, you can see it's not transferring to my waterline. So next I'm gonna line my upper lash line. And to do that, I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Grip Precision Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Black. This eyeliner is smudge resistant and waterproof, and it lasts literally all day, which is perfect for hooded eyes. For your upper lash line, you want to stick to really thin lines. There's not a lot of room to work with, so the thinner the line, the better. So what I like to do is just press the eyeliner along my lash line in small sections. So we're literally just tapping the eyeliner onto our eyelids. This way you don't mess up and create a line that's too thick. It gives you that perfectly thin line that we're going for. I like to wing my eyeliner out. You want to start a little bit below your lash line. So I'm going to start my eyeliner here and just slowly bring this out. And the main thing is that you want to make sure you're looking forward with your eyes open so you can see exactly where your skin hangs over your eyelid at the outer corners. So for the wing, you're basically just creating a very thin line and winging it out from your bottom lash line. Create another thin line on top and connect it with your upper lash line. So for the final step, we're going in with the L'Oreal Paris Lash Paradise mascara in Blackest Black. This mascara gives my lashes so much length and volume, and it's also smudge resistant. When I apply mascara, I always like to look down into a mirror and just wiggle the brush upwards. While you wiggle the brush, you can close your eyes, and that's going to coat your lashes even more. It's also going to help you avoid getting mascara on your upper lids. So I don't really like mascara on my bottom lashes, so I just take my fingers and separate my bottom lashes so that they have a little bit of mascara, but they also look nice and fluffy. All right, and that's it. This is the final look. If you guys are interested in any of these products, make sure you head to l'orealparisu.com, and all the links will be listed in the description below.